August 16th, 2022. Ingolstadt, Bavaria. It's evening when a black Mercedes is found parked on a quiet street near the city center. Nothing looks wrong from the outside, but when officers get close enough to look through the window, there is a body on the back seat. A young woman, more than 50 stab wounds. Her face has been attacked with such sustained, deliberate violence that she cannot be identified on sight. Her own parents are brought to the scene. They look at the body. They believe they are looking at their daughter. They are wrong. It takes an autopsy and a DNA test to establish who is actually lying in that car. And when the results come back, they rewrite the entire case. Before anything else, I want to tell you about Khadija, because in most of the coverage this case generated, she appears as a detail inside someone else's story, a prop, a body that happened to look like the right person. That's not the story I want to tell. Khadija O was 23. She was born in Oran, a port city on Algeria's Mediterranean coast, the second largest city in the country. She grew up there with her mother Sharifa, her younger sister Alam, and a family that, by every account from people who knew her, she remained close to even after she moved away. At some point, she made a decision a lot of young women from North Africa make. She moved to Europe. She ended up in Heilbronn, a city in southwestern Germany, about 160 kilometers from where she would later be killed. She built a life there. She had friends. She had a beauty page online where she posted content and talked to followers. She was building something. She had plans. Her mother Sharifa gave an interview after the trial. She said that on the day Khadija died, a framed photograph fell off the wall of their home in Oran. As a mother's intuition, she said, I sensed that she was in crisis. By the time Sharifa felt that, the plan to end her daughter's life was in its final hours. To understand how Khadija ended up in the back of a stranger's car, you have to understand who put her there. And that means going to Ingolstadt. Sharaban K. was 23 years old, a German woman of Iraqi descent living in Ingolstadt, working as a beautician. German privacy law means we only get her first name and an initial. What we know about her situation in 2022 comes from prosecutors. According to the case they laid out in court, Sharaban K. was dealing with a serious conflict inside her family. The details were not made fully public, but it was serious enough that she felt ordinary solutions were not available to her. At some point, she settled on a plan. She would disappear, not leave, not cut contact. Disappear. Make the world believe she was dead, walk away from whatever she was running from, and start over somewhere else. For that to work, she needed something specific. She needed a body that looked like hers. Take a step back and think about what that actually requires. Not just the willingness to kill someone. That decision requires you to look at murder and see a logistical problem. It requires you to think past the weight of ending a stranger's life and focus on execution, on planning, on the details. What Sharaban K. did next was not a panic response. It was a search. She created multiple fake Instagram accounts. Using those accounts, she contacted young women who looked like her. Same facial features, similar build, similar coloring. Prosecutors confirmed at trial that she approached at least 5 women, evaluated each of them, and moved on when the resemblance wasn't close enough. Think about that for a moment. She had criteria. She was screening people. She was patient enough to reject 5 candidates and keep looking. One of those approaches came through a fake account pretending to be Loon, a German rapper. The message offered a role in a music video, needed a lookalike, very exciting opportunity. Khadija got that message, and she did something smart. She went and found Loon's real account and sent her a voice message. "I hope you can see it and answer me," she said, "because I'm very, very unsure. It would be really cool if you could tell me if it's real or fake." Lewin wrote back immediately, "It's fake, sister. Don't answer." Khadija listened. She didn't reply to that account. Shahraban K came back with a different account, a different story, a different offer. This time, beauty products, free cosmetics for agreeing to meet. Khadija's family said she was hesitant. She went back and forth about it. She agreed to meet. On the morning of August 16th, Shahraban K and her boyfriend Shakir K drove from Ingolstadt to Heilbronn. They picked Khadija up. The drive back is roughly 2 hours. At some point, Khadija was led out of the car. Prosecutors described it as being lured out of the vehicle under a pretext. In a wooded area outside Ingolstadt, she was stabbed more than 50 times. The damage to her face was not incidental. It was deliberate, concentrated. Her features needed to be unrecognizable, and they were. Her body was placed in Shahraban's Mercedes. The car was left near Shahraban's home address, where it would be found. Her belongings were arranged around the body. Shahraban and Shakir left. Police arrived. They found the car, the body, the belongings. They found a young woman whose face had been destroyed in a car registered to a woman who had just been reported missing. They concluded Shahraban K had been killed. For a short time, the plan worked exactly as intended. The medical examiner changed everything. During the post-mortem, forensic investigators developed serious doubts. The DNA test confirmed them. The fingerprints confirmed them. The woman in the back of that Mercedes was not Shahraban K. She was Khadija O. Now police understood what they were actually looking at. The missing woman wasn't a victim. She was a suspect who had walked away from the scene. Officers located Shahraban K at a pizzeria in Ingolstadt. She was arrested. Shakir K was arrested shortly after. The charges started as manslaughter. As investigators built the case over the following months, they were upgraded to murder. During the trial, which ran 11 months and required more than 50 separate hearing days, a second allegation surfaced. 1 month before Khadija was killed, prosecutors argued Shahraban K had tried to hire someone to murder her own brother-in-law. That plan had fallen apart. The person she approached didn't follow through. Take a second and sit with that sequence. A failed murder for hire in July, a successful murder in August. This was not someone backed into a corner making a terrible decision once. By July 2022, violence was already an option on the table. She was working down a list. On December 19, 2024, the Ingolstadt court delivered its verdict. Both defendants guilty of murder, both sentenced to life. The judge ruled the crime particularly serious under German law, meaning early release after 15 years, something that happens routinely, is effectively off the table. Shahraban K wanted to vanish. She wanted the world to declare her dead so she could walk away from whatever she was running from and become someone else. What she actually created was a different disappearance. She removed Khadija O from the world. She took a 23-year-old woman with a family and a future and reduced her to a prop in a plan, a body in the back of a car, a detail. And then, the system meant to deliver justice for Khadija managed to make her disappear one more time. Her mother, Sharifa, is disabled after a brain hemorrhage. Her sister Alam is in Oran, Algeria. Neither had legal representation at trial. Neither was contacted by German authorities when the verdict was handed down on December 19, 2024. The first time Alam learned the defendants had been convicted and sentenced to life in prison was January 8, 2025. She found out because a journalist from Business Insider messaged her. 3 weeks after the verdict, from a reporter. "We didn't know anything," she said. Khadija's father lives in Germany. He was estranged from her Algerian family after a divorce. He had legal representation in court. The rest of her family found out from the press. When Alam finally understood what had happened, the full verdict, what it meant for how long they would stay locked up, her response was not closure. "I don't know if there is justice," she said. Khadija came to Germany and built something. She had friends. She had an online presence. She was careful enough to reach out directly to a rapper to confirm whether a suspicious message was real. She did the right thing the first time. She was persistent enough to wear her down. The court convicted the people who killed her. That part worked. The family in Algeria found out from a journalist 3 weeks late. That is the thing about this case that stays with me. The plan was to make Khadija disappear. And in the ways that mattered most, the world kept finding ways to help.